Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw March the 6th episode of the results. Birthdays, you got Deborah Marshall turning 57. She was born March the 2nd. The late Mike Von Erich, Mike Gatkinson, was born March the 2nd, 1964. Took his own life at the age of 23 on April 12th, 1987. Lance Cade, real name Lance McNaught, was born on March 2nd, 1981, died at the age of 29, August 12th, 2010. His death was ruled as an intoxication from mixed drugs complicating a cardiomyopathy. March the 3rd birthdays, Glenn Kulka, turned 53. PJ Black, formerly known as Justin Gabriel, turned 36. Hayabusa, real name of Aiji Izaki, died at the age of 47 on March 3rd, 2016. Cause of death is listed as subarachnoid hemorrhage. And the dark match of last week's SmackDown, I did get some results for that. John Cena and Dean Ambrose defeated Baron Corbin and The Miz. Pancakes and Power Slams podcast with Scott Norton. Interview hosted by Chris Featherstone. Interview available at Block Talk Radio. Working with Ice Train from WCW. We were so different. You know, you got to be willing to work with other guys. And that didn't happen. You look at how different me and Bagwell were. We worked together. If Marcus didn't break his neck on Nitro that one night, we would have had a run that would have been pretty good. I mean, right where we needed to be, we were seamless. But me and Ice Train, it was such a battle to get out of the locker room. So, you know, it just didn't work. Kevin Sullivan put that together. And I never said, hey, man, thanks. It just wasn't any good. It was like we were tugging at different ends, and we weren't going anywhere. The demise of NWO, it was politics. It's a shame that it couldn't go on longer. A lot of other things that were way beyond what I know. It was being tugged at 100 different ways. To Sunday, Eric Bischoff did a great job. Trying to control what he had to control is tough. These guys are awesome brothers, great friends, always good to me. And that was the highlights of his interview. Well, he did comment on returning to NJPW for Wrestle Kingdom 11. It was awesome. I was a surprise guest in the Rumble, and the place went nuts. I was so grateful that they hadn't forgot about me. It was awesome. Getting back in there, I was pretty nervous. I shouldn't, because I've wrestled 15,000 matches. You know, it was great. And that was the end of his interview. The next Evolve show that will take place WrestleMania weekend on March 30th and 31st in Orlando, Florida, at Orlando Live Events. Well, did not get any results for the WWE main event, but here goes Raw for your March 6th. Raw opened up with a video looking at Sunday's Fastlane pay-per-view. We're live from Chicago with Michael Coleslaw, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. Music hits, out comes U.S. champion Chris Jericho to a pop. JoJo introduced him. Jericho got a pop for shouting out Chicago, the birthplace of Y2J. Jericho says, tonight Chicago is the site of the resurrection of Chris Jericho. Jericho says he screwed Kevin Owens out of the Universal title at Fastlane. He congratulated Bill Goldberg and says Owens has had this coming because he betrayed Jericho at the Festival of Friendship. Jericho says Owens ripped his heart out. He stabbed a knife into the rock of Jericho and twisted it in. Jericho then says he's angry, hurt, and confused all at the same time. He wants to know why Owens did that. Then Jericho calls Owens to the ring. Music hits, and out he comes with a microphone. Fans boo as Owens speaks from the stage. Owens says he's not going to come out and give Jericho any answers after what he did last night. Jericho should know better. Jericho shut him up and says he doesn't want any BS. He just wants to know why. Jericho asks again why Owens stabbed his best friend in the back. Owens said he didn't stab his best friend in the back because Jericho is never his best friend. Owens says he used Jericho. Triple H told him he had to do whatever he could to keep the title, so he looked around for the right person. The person that had to be gullible. Owens says Jericho was a perfect tool until he outlived his usefulness, which happened as soon as he accepted Goldberg's challenge on Owens' behalf. Owens says he knows for a fact that he could have outsmarted Goldberg at Fastlane, but that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Jericho. Owens admits Jericho outsmarted him last night. Owens says what he did at the Festival of Friendship was spare Jericho. Owens let him walk away that night, Jericho's family, because Owens is a good person. Owens says letting Jericho walk away that night was the biggest mistake of his career and one he won't make again. He says Jericho's biggest mistake was costing Owens the title last night. Jericho said the biggest mistake he ever made was trusting Owens. Jericho goes on and says he has a lot of friends here tonight, thousands. Fans pop for Jericho. He calls them friends of Jericho and tells them to cheer him on. Jericho poses as the fans chant for him. Jericho says last night was not the end. It was just the beginning. Jericho says what started at Fastlane is the beginning of a long and winding road that leads to Owens versus Jericho at WrestleMania 33. As the crowd pops and the Orgasm Yes chants start. Owens says he will get the Universal title back when the time is right, and he was promised a rematch whenever he wants one. But ever since Jericho took his title, all he can think about is taking Jericho's title away from him. Owens says if Jericho wants him at WrestleMania, he must put the title on the line. Jericho agrees and the match is on. They end up brawling as Owens hits the ring. Samoa Joe appears out of nowhere and joins in the beatdown on Jericho. Music hits, out comes Sami Zayn for the save with a steel chair. Sami goes at Joe, then Owens, but they beat him down. Jericho hits Joe with a chair, then Owens. Jericho nails more chair shots. Or actually, they nail more shots on Jericho. Owens and Sami stand tall in the ring as Jericho's music hits. Joe and Owens recover and retreat as they go to commercial. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens was up next. Back from the break, Owens versus Sami is underway after being ordered by Raw General Manager Mick Foley. Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho have been banned from ringside. They will face off later on in the show. Owens keeps control for a few minutes and hits the corner cannonball. Sami ends up making a comeback and drop kicking Owens. Owens goes to the floor. Sami flies out and takes him down. Sami brings him back in the ring, but Owens nails a pop-up powerbomb. Owens then mounts Sami with some strikes. Owens keeps control and drops Sami's neck over his knee. Owens ends up hitting another pop-up powerbomb for the win. After the match, we go to replays as Owens gets up. Still to come segment, Jericho versus Joe. Also, the new Universal Champion will be here, and Neville will defend his Cruiserweight title against Rich Swann. Back to commercial. And that matchup's up next, Rich Swann versus Neville. Back from the break, we get Austin Aries joined on the commentary with Coleslaw and Graves. Rich Swann is out, followed by Cruiserweight Champion Neville. This is Swann's rematch from losing the title. We get formal ring introductions from JoJo. The bell rings and Swann goes right to work on Neville. Swann counters and hits the drop kick. Neville goes to the floor for a breather, but Swann follows and launches him into the barrier. Neville turns it around on the floor and manhandles Swann before we get a commercial. More back and forth after the match. As Swann with a kick to the head on the apron as they tangle. Swann goes up top, hits the huge Swann dive to the floor on Neville. They bring him back in the ring, and Neville decks him. Swann runs the ropes and takes Neville down with head scissors. Swann keeps control and hits a Michinoku diver for a close 2 count. Swann goes up top. Neville cuts him off. Neville goes for a superplex. Neville goes for the pin, and Swann rolls to the floor. Neville launches Swann into the barrier. Stands tall as we go to commercial. More back and forth action as the match is still underway. There's a misprint from the reporter. After the break is what they really meant. Swann connects with a big kick, but Neville kicks out of 2. Swann goes up top, but has to land on his feet. Swann with another kick to the head. Swann goes to the top, but misses, and as Neville rolls out of the way, Neville gets a 2 count. As Neville goes right into the rings of Swan and taps out. Right into the rings as Swan taps out. After the match, Neville takes his title as we go to replays. Aries interviews Neville in the ring and asks him how it feels to be on top of the mountain. Fan chant for Aries before Neville speaks. Aries thanks Chicago and asks Neville about his last 24 hours. Neville says he's done exactly what he said he would do. And Neville goes on and gets the what treatment from the crowd, Stone Cold style. Neville says he's laid waste to everyone, and now it's obvious that there's no one on the 205 Live that holds a candle to him. Aries asks Neville again if there's absolutely no one at his level. Fan chant for Aries again from the crowd. Aries says it sounds like the WWE Universe might disagree with you. A yes chant breaks out from the crowd. Neville says Aries can't seriously be suggesting himself. Neville says Aries must be delusional if he thinks he's even close to Neville's level. Neville is running out of patience with Aries. He tells Aries to see himself back to the announce table. Neville says this is his ring. He suggests Aries get out of the ring before he re-breaks his orbital socket. Aries says he's just trying to do his job here. Neville taunts Aries and asks him what he's going to do about it. Aries says just one more question. Actually, it's not so much of a question. It's more of a statement. Aries then discus punches Neville and drops him to a pop. Aries hits the discus elbow and then sends Neville out of the ring. Aries hits the ropes and stands tall as Neville retreats. Enzo Amore and Big Cass are backstage. They walk up with Cesaro and Sheamus. They joke on Enzo and Cass choking at Fastlane last night. Cass is confident that they will win the titles tonight. Enzo pokes at Cesaro for his loss to Samoa Joe last week before walking off. Still to come segment, Goldberg, back to commercial. Back from the break, now comes new Universal Champion Bill Goldberg to Pyro and a big pop for the crowd. Goldberg says that the title belongs to the fans. He's about to reveal some information he never thought he would reveal, but the CM Punk chants from the crowd started up. Goldberg says, yeah, I hear that. But the chants continue. Paul Heyman interrupts from the stage. Heyman cuts a promo from the stage and reveals that he's not alone tonight. Heyman does a grand introduction for his client, and out comes Brock Lesnar to a pop. Pyro hits as Heyman and Lesnar march to ringside area. Lesnar enters the ring, and they come face to face. Heyman introduces them to each other. Heyman says his client came here to shake Goldberg's hand and congratulate him on being the new Universal Champion. Heyman says Lesnar understands how happy Goldberg must be after demolishing Kevin Owens last night. He suggests the only person happier about Goldberg being champion is Lesnar. Heyman hypes the WrestleMania 33 match and says he has a spoiler. After the match, there will be a new reigning, undisputed Universal Champion, and his name is Brock Lesnar. Lesnar offers his hand as Heyman says people can refer to Goldberg as Lesnar's bitch. But Goldberg doesn't like that. Lesnar grabs him and nails it at 5. Goldberg tries to get up as Lesnar stands over him. Lesnar and Heyman leave the ring as Goldberg crawls to the ropes with the title. We get a replay of what just happened. We come back to an angry Goldberg recovering. Then we get still photos from Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman at Fastlane match. Braun says he will finish what he started tonight. Also, Enzo and Big Cass get another Raw tag team title shot. That's commercial. Raw tag team title match. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Back from the break, out comes Enzo and Big Cass with promos on how they lost at Fastlane. But we'll win the title tonight. Raw tag team champions Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were out next. Gallows starts off with Enzo and goes right to work. Cass comes in, but Gallows keeps control and takes it to the corner. Anderson comes in, but Cass gets the upper hand and works him over in the corner. Cass sends Anderson to the floor for a breather. Gallows comes in, but Cass nails him. Cesaro and Sheamus appear on the stage to watch the match. The three teams exchange looks as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, and Anderson is in control of Enzo. Enzo fights out of a hold, but Anderson sends him to the mat. Anderson with a backdrop for a 2 count. We see Cesaro and Sheamus watching at ringside. Anderson nails a couple of uppercuts in the corner. Gallo tags in and keeps up the beating on Enzo. Enzo manages to get a DDT. Cass gets the hot tag and unloads on the champions. Cass with a follow-away slam and a splash to Anderson. Cass drops the Empire Elbow on Anderson, but Gallows makes a save. Enzo sends Gallows to the floor. Enzo runs the ropes and sends Gallows into the barrier. Cesaro's coffee gets spilled thanks to Enzo, and he's not happy. He chases Enzo back into the ring, then chaos breaks out. Referee calls for the bell for disqualification. As Enzo and Big Cass win. After the bell, all 3 teams brawl. Come down to Cesaro and Enzo. Sheamus floors Enzo with a bro kick. Cesaro and Sheamus stand tall as Cesaro's music hits, and we go to replays. Gallows and Anderson stand tall on the stage with their titles. Coleslaw leads us to the 2017 Hall of Fame video for Ravishing Rick Rude. Still to come, Bayley will discuss WrestleMania. Back to commercial. Back from the ring, we get Mick Foley is in between Sheamus and Cesaro and Enzo and Cass as they argue. Foley makes a tag match for next week's Raw with the winners facing Gallows and Anderson at WrestleMania 33. Well, I was predicting this whole thing. I'm predicting that whole thing as a triple threat for WrestleMania 33. Foley says in the meantime he's going to try and have a nice day. Stephanie McMahon appears and says if Foley wants to have a nice day, he'll follow her to the office. Next, we got Akira Tozawa versus Ari Daivari. We go to the ring and out comes Akira Tozawa while Ari Daivari waits in the ring. Austin Aries is not out for commentary. We see a video of his segment with Neville from earlier. They shake hands first, the bell rings, and they lock up. Back and forth start until Daivari takes control. Tozawa hits a snap German suplex out of nowhere for a quick win. After the match, Tozawa takes the mic and calls out Brian Kendrick. Kendrick comes out to the stage and can't believe Tozawa still wants to fight after all this. Kendrick says he can't make any promises on the match, but he will have an answer on 205 Live tomorrow. Kendrick delivers another cryptic lesson and walks to the back. Still to come segment, Jericho versus Joe, back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes New Day with their ice cream bike cart. Xavier Woods introduces the New Day Pop Cycle. Kofi Kingston mentions New Day Pops, which may be the name of their ice cream coming out. Big E hypes the next match as we see the Shining Stars awaiting in the ring. And we get the Shining Stars versus New Day. Primo and Epico wait as it will be Kofi Kingston and Big E representing New Day. Shining Stars get some offense early on, but New Day hits the midnight hour for an easy win. Don't even think the match lasted even a minute. After the match, New Day celebrated. Announcers lead us to the Women's History Month video for Hall of Famer Trish Stratus and Lita. Still to come segment, Bayley is here. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Raw General Manager Mick Foley again in the ring. He introduces Raw Women's Champion Bayley. Out she comes. Foley congratulates Bayley. Bayley says it's been 24 hours and she wishes she felt like a winner. She specifically asked Charlotte to leave Dana Brooke in the back, but we all saw what happened. Later with Sasha Banks. Bayley says she needs to keep moving forward and look to WrestleMania. They go on and Foley wonders who Bayley will face at WrestleMania 33. The music hits and out comes Sasha Banks. Sasha defends her actions at Fastlane and says since she and Bayley became friends, they have talked about tearing the house down at WrestleMania. Sasha proposes that they do that in Orlando. Foley asks the fans what they think. Music interrupts and out comes Charlotte with Dana Brooke. Charlotte accuses Sasha of abusing Bayley. Charlotte says she's a victim of a conspiracy. She was robbed of her title and her pay-per-view streak at Fastlane. Charlotte says Foley doesn't care as long as his two favorite daughters, Bayley and Sasha, are going to WrestleMania. Stephanie McMahon makes her way out and interrupts Charlotte and Foley arguing. Stephanie makes it clear that Foley is not the boss. Same goes for Sasha. A loud CM Punk chant breaks out. Stephanie says the people certainly are predictable. She says all Chicagoans are just like CM Punk. They're losers. Stephanie says that they will always cheer for the wrong person, like Sasha. Stephanie says Sasha is the most manipulative person in the locker room. Stephanie goes on and says the person who deserves a title shot is the one who was robbed, and that's Charlotte Flair. Stephanie makes Charlotte versus Bayley for WrestleMania. Foley says Stephanie can't leave the boss out in the cold. Stephanie asks Foley who the boss is. Foley says Stephanie is the boss, but Sasha deserves it after the year she's had. Foley proposes Sasha versus Charlotte for next week, with the winner facing Bayley at WrestleMania. Stephanie then does say if Sasha wins, the match will be a triple threat. Her opponent will be Bayley, and the match is tonight, not next week. Stephanie's music hits and everyone exchanges looks. Sasha looks to the WrestleMania banner. Back to commercial. So that match is up next, and back from the break. Sasha is in the ring with Bayley. Charlotte is on the commentary, and Sasha goes to WrestleMania if she wins the match. They lock up and trade holds to start. Lots of back and forth early on. Bayley drops Sasha with a shoulder block. Bayley with a hip toss for a 1 count. Sasha with a shoulder block again. She counters a hip toss and hits one of her own. Sasha keeps control and Bayley goes to the corner. More back and forth. Sasha runs into an elbow. Bayley with more offense and a 2 count. Sasha with 2 quick pin attempts. Bayley ends up going to the floor for a breather. Sasha leaps off the apron, but Bayley moves. They come back in. After more back and forth, friendly action, Sasha drops Bayley with a clothesline and stands tall as we go to commercial. They trade pin attempts after the break. Sasha blocks a Bayley to belly. Bayley to belly suplex. Sasha with a big forearm to the face. Sasha tosses Bayley. Charlotte gets up from commentary and walks down to the ring. Dana is also at ringside. Sasha with double knees for a 2 count on Bayley. Charlotte then taunts Sasha. Sasha misses the double knees in the corner. Bayley goes to the top but misses crossbody. And as Sasha rolls out of the way, Sasha then applies the bank statement, but Bayley makes it to the ropes. Sasha runs into an elbow. Sasha catches Bayley in a backstabber and applies the bank statement. Bayley tries to get to the bottom rope. Dana distracts the referee, but Sasha kicks Charlotte off the apron. As she tries to interfere, Sasha pulls Bayley back in and makes her tap for the win. Sasha is going to WrestleMania, and it's a triple threat. After the match, Charlotte attacks from behind and lays Sasha out. Bayley is also down. Charlotte grabs the title and raises it with WrestleMania 33 banner in the background. We go to replays as the music hits. So the come segment, Braun Strowman, plus a look at Seth Rollins' rehab and comments from Triple H. Back from the break, Roman Reigns is backstage. Charlie Caruso asks him what he thinks of Braun Strowman, saying he's going to finish what he started. Reigns says Braun can find him in the ring at the end of the show. Reigns walks off. Announcers lead us to a video package on Triple H and Seth Rollins. We also get a look at Rollins' intense rehab as he trains to make it to WrestleMania 33. Rollins then says he will be there one way or another. He can't miss it this year and wants it more than anything else. Coleslaw has Triple H live on by satellite now. Triple H gives props to the company for the world-class care they are giving their athletes. He just has to hope someone like Rollins listens to the experts and utilizes that advice. Triple H took it as an ignorance when Rollins said he would be at WrestleMania. When you have the best doctors saying you shouldn't try, but you insist, it's just pure stupidity. Triple H calls Rollins a liar, pointing to how he's been lying for years about being the man. Triple H goes on and says WrestleMania is here where dreams come true. And Rollins always dreamed of being the man. But if he goes against doctor's orders and shows up at WrestleMania to call Triple H out, it will be the last thing Rollins ever does in the WWE ring. Coleslaw then thanks Triple H, and that's it for the interview. Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho was up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Samoa Joe. Commercial break. Back from the break, we get a vignette for Emma's return coming soon. Doesn't say Emmalina anymore. Back to Emma. Samoa Joe waits as U.S. champion Chris Jericho makes his way out for non-title match. Joe takes control early on and nails an insecurity in the corner. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are banned from ringside during the match. Jericho turns around and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. Joe drops Jericho with an elbow, hits a senton for a 2 count. Joe with an armbar on Jericho. Jericho comes back and ducks a clothesline and hits an insecurity. Jericho keeps control and sends Joe to the floor. Jericho charges, but Joe puts him in a coquina clutch on the outside of the ring. Referees count as Joe has Jericho down on the floor. Joe puts Jericho out and gets back in the ring for the win before the 10 count. After the match, Joe brings Jericho back in the ring, but Jericho nails a code breaker that sends Joe back outside the ring. Jericho's music hits as he stands tall in the ring. Then we see Braun Strowman marching backstage. Back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes Braun Strowman. He says Roman Reigns got lucky last night at Fastlane, but his luck runs out tonight. Braun doesn't need a match. He just needs to rip Roman limb from limb. Braun says Chicago doesn't like Reigns, and they agree. Braun calls Roman out again, and finally here he comes. Reigns' music hits, and he starts playing, but the gong interrupts, and it's none other than Undertaker's music, and the crowd begins to pop. Undertaker makes his way out. No Roman Reigns. Taker marches to the ring as Strowman looks on. Taker then enters the ring, and the power goes off in the background. Taker meets Strowman in the middle of the ring as they stare each other down. A holy crap chant breaks out from the crowd. Braun takes a few steps back and leaves the ring as fans boo. Fan chant for Taker as the stare down continues. Taker's music hits, and he goes to leave, but Reigns' music hits the boos. Reigns makes his way out as Taker looks on. Reigns stops and stares at Taker in the ring. Reigns takes his time to enter the ring. Reigns and Taker stare each other down again in the middle of the ring. A Roman sucks chant tries to get going. Reigns says Braun wasn't calling Taker out. He called out Reigns. Reigns says this is his yard now, with all due respect, and looks at Taker. Reigns gets in Taker's face. Taker looks up at the WrestleMania 33 banner as the Roman sucks chant breaks out from the crowd. Taker then grabs Reigns by the throat, chokeslams him for a big pop. Taker's music hits again. He makes his exit as Reigns recovers. Taker stops and raises his fist before heading to the back as Raw goes off the air. And that concludes my Raw video for this week. See you one of you. Peace out. If you don't know, just call me, brothers.